com/wake up call DT. I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning inside the Cafe Kubal Studios, having some fun with you as we always do, where sports meets that thing called life. So I appreciate you being here. So very thankful to have you here. And my godson just gave me a gift here, and it says Godfather and Godson. And look at what the shirt says from there: Godfather and Godson with the hands, and it says best what? Or is it best friends for life? So I will be wearing this proudly, probably every day for the rest of my life now. And shout out to my great friend and supporter, Mr. Johnny Roberts and the fantastic Roberts family. Shout out to Aaron, and shout out to all the kids, and to my little buddy, a kid who you would swear is my kid with the common stuff that we have, Mr. Noah Roberts. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'm so very honored to be your godfather. So thank you for all that you are, and thank you for everything that you've brought to my life. You mean the world to me, and I cannot understate that by any means. So I love you, buddy, and thank you for my shirt, and I'm going to wear it proudly now, and it means the world to me. So happy to be a godfather and happy to be in your life. We are inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, and very, very happy to be here with you. 3501 James Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse. 2 locations for Cafe Kubal right by you. Of course, inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, minutes from the Dome, as well as out on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location. So plenty of great ways to get in touch with Cafe Kubal. They're also proudly served when you go and get my nachos at PB&J's Lunchbox for takeout, delivery, or dining in at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, and get some Cafe Kubal coffee there as well. So, with that being said, jam-packed show today. Happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day. I'm so very happy that the first 3 conversations we have are all about that. And you know that I'm all about that on the show, from Gina Castelli to Mary Grimes to Kathy Braun to Gabby Holko to Jen Carlton and so on and so forth. I am so honored of all the women that have been on this broadcast. And, you know, it's funny because when I started broadcasting on ESPN 630, 1240, and 96.1 FM in Scranton, Pennsylvania, when I started my career outside of Marywood with that, I was told sports radio is men 25 to 54. And I thought to myself, why does it have to be men 25 to 54? Why can't it be women? Why can't it be kids? Why can't it be people outside of that age? And it was on my mind. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get women. I'm going to do it. And it's funny because, you know, when we're looking at that, you know, for me, I never understood, why wouldn't women listen to sports radio? You know, they play sports, they coach sports, their kids are in it, their friends are in it, their family's in it, you know, it's all around them. My mom has always been, you know, a big fan of watching Syracuse sports and whatnot, and she's obviously now, just went with me to the LeMoyne game last night to see Mary Grimes and the LeMoyne College Dolphins women's basketball team get their 10th win in conference and 12th win overall. Big shout out to them for that. You know, it's so incredible that there was this notion when I started my career that, hey, women don't listen to this stuff, we don't cater to them, yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting here going, why wouldn't women listen to this? So it was my mission to change that. I said, I'm going to get women here. I'm going to get them to listen. That's what I'm going to do. And I just did it in this really crazy way. I got women to listen to my show, not by getting women to listen to my show. I cover women's sports I cover women in sports. I cover the leaders of this country that, and wherever, that just so happen to also be female. Because I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate by color. I don't discriminate by background. I don't discriminate by nationality or orientation or anything. Gender. You want to be on the show, you want to help this world become a better place, you're welcome here. So on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, that's every day for me. That's part of my life. But I want to say today, as we honor you, that I'm so grateful and so appreciative of the incredible women. One of them texting me this morning that have been there for me well beyond the world of sports. Thank you to the amazing and wonderful women that I know. My mom above all, and my G-mama. So today, we get to do a lot of amazing things. And we get to start the show off with a new episode of AD&DT, because it's Dolphin time, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And so Bob Beretta and I are going to honor the women of LeMoyne and the women's programs of LeMoyne. Because some of them are led by men. And he wanted to honor what those programs are doing as well, and those people around it. So on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, we have a great opportunity to honor LeMoyne in a special way. And we will do that right after this fast break, followed by Mary Grimes and Haedyn Roberts of LeMoyne Dolphins women's basketball, speaking on the success of the team, as well as what they think of National Girls and Women in Sports Day and being leaders. And then Mary takes the time to speak also about the beginning of Black History Month. So much more than sports is what Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is. And we have a trio of fantastic conversations coming your way. Starting with AD&DT, the LeMoyne Dolphins taking over Wake Up Call. Then we'll move into my conversation at around 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time with Kion Wright. Kion Wright, 2023 defensive end with numerous offers. I think 15 at the time we're talking right now, including one from Syracuse. Kion will join the show at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll round out the show with our fantasy football coverage, speaking on the fantasy studs of this year's playoffs, and, of course, some talk on those Bengals and Rams as they get set for the title game in the NFL. That all proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. By the way, Joe Theismann not only brought it when he came on the show as he always does, but he was right. Two big things. Yeah, Tom Brady retired eventually, but he said when those initial reports came out, he wasn't done. He didn't believe them. Tom had never said it himself. So even though he thought Tom may come back for one more year, Theismann was right about all of that. In the sense of, why was it being reported when Tom didn't say it and Tom didn't have the time to think about it? So, thank you to Joe Theismann for that. And Joe Theismann broke 2 days ago on my show the Commanders. And other shows have claimed that he broke it there, and that's all well and good. God knows the work I do, and I know the work I do. And that's all that matters. We live in a society where people steal information and call it their own all the time, because information is just right there for the taking. So, thank you, Joe, for coming on my show and telling us it's going to be the Commanders, because officially this morning, the Washington football team announced that. We'll get to Greg's thoughts and everything. What did Greg say? Very pleased to see your favorite NFL football team now has an official name. Yes. Huge congrats on your new media partnership. Speaking truth when you said 2022 will be an incredible year. Yeah, man. 2022 will be an incredible year for all of us. You got to talk it into existence. You got to speak it into existence every day. So, I proudly will take a step aside for a fast break and come back with Mr. Bob Beretta in the newest episode of AD&DT, featuring us honoring the National Girls and Women in Sports Day and beyond, right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. To another edition of AD and DT as we start off the great month of February here in 2022 with Athletics Director of LeMoyne College, Bob Beretta, and myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT. Bob, it's always great to see you.
Great to see you, Dan. Thanks for being here.
And I love the suit. And you always have a good suit game when it comes to any of the shows that we do.
Thanks very much. I try real hard. I got to do a little better with the green, though. It's kind of hard to find green sports coats and green suits, but we're working on that.
Yeah, you got to get a green, I've never seen one, but a green pinstripe. Because that's what I like. I got my subtle stripes on today.
That would be
I got to
sharp.
get some green one in here.
That would be sharp.
So we are here today on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, celebrating and honoring, to me it's every day, and on this day to give a special thanks to all the girls and women across the world, past, present, and future, that have competed.
Yeah, it really is a special day, and you know, I'm a girl dad and a girl coach. I coached girls travel softball for 10 years up until last year. I served as 1 year as the head coach of the women's softball team at Army. A very special place in my heart. And yeah, I'm so excited to celebrate the achievements of our female student athletes here at LeMoyne, because we have an awful lot of good ones.
Yeah, you know, and there's so many stories to tell. And what I think is really beautiful is, you know, just recently I honored Mary Grimes for, at the time, a 10-3 start in her first season at LeMoyne as the head coach, and first season in general as a head coach, and with women's basketball, what she's done. And I said to her, you know, who would you name top dog of the week? And she very easily said that Erin Foraker, she would give it to her. And so it's just, it's incredible to see what Mary's doing for, you know, women's athletics, and then how easily she could turn to somebody else and say, hey, you're honoring me, but I'd rather honor my player there.
Great role model, right? And tremendous example of excellence. And we spotted that quickly with Mary. Obviously, she was no stranger to LeMoyne. I was new to LeMoyne, but I'd heard an awful lot of good things about her from so many different people. Yeah. And she's made an immediate impact. She made an immediate impact this summer after she took the job. She relates so well to those student athletes in her program. And not just on the court, but off the court. Mary is one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet, but when it's time to be stern, she can be stern. She can hold her student athletes accountable to a certain standard, and they respond to her, as you've seen so far in this basketball season. And names like Erin Foraker and Emma Brinker and Toya Baker, and I could go on and on. They've had a spectacular year, but it's because they have tremendous character and high standards in that program.
You know, and we look to women's soccer in the recent hire that you had, and the opportunity that I had to do that exclusive first conversation and really get to know Kathy Braun and everything that she brings to the table, her wealth of knowledge over 3 decades in the sport, and to come here and I get the vibe from her that it's almost like this is her first year as a head coach. So as we honor women in sports and girls in sports today, I think, and every day, I think it's very important to once again applaud the hire of Kathy Braun and the fact she wanted to come here.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And you know, it's hard to imagine anyone having a greater impact on more student athletes over the course of a career than Kathy Braun. Kathy's been a head coach at the Division I level for almost 3 decades, has been a coach in athletics for more than 3 decades. She had assistant stints in the Ivy League, and she's been in a couple different places since she left Colgate, but we're really excited to have Kathy here now at LeMoyne, where she can serve as a mentor, an advisor, as a friend, and importantly for us, a head coach on the soccer pitch for many years to come. And she's got this energy level that if you were just meeting Kathy and didn't know her background, you'd have no idea that here's a star in this industry. She's won over 300 games. Mm-hmm. She's taken 11 different teams to Patriot League championships. She's 6-time NCAA tournament appearance at the helm of her soccer team. So we're thrilled to have Kathy here. We know that she's going to have a positive impact on that program, on the ladies in our soccer program, and we're thrilled to have someone with her resume now leading our young ladies.
And you're sandwiched in between 2 big-time specials for women's lacrosse, as we had the opportunity to speak. And I'm all about uplifting Central and Upstate New York athletes in the state of New York in general, and letting people know that the girls and boys here in this great state and in Upstate and Central New York specifically have so much to give and are extremely talented, great in the classroom, great on the fields and the courts of life. So Allison Cole is coming from CNS. She's got one more season there with my cousin Fran and my little sis. And so she's got one more season there after winning a sectional championship. And then she's heading to LeMoyne, and we just had her special that you can watch on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by subscribing there. And after our conversation here today, a week from today, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, the next Dolphin Dive is going to feature Sarah Hunter coming from Beeville, who played in that championship game against CNS, and then she'll be coming. So I want to mention Liz Bevel, because in such a short amount of time, I think 17-1, she has had an incredible start, and she not only has been a good coach with the players that she has during the season, but in recruiting, she has found the pulse of Central and Upstate New York and has really, be it Allison Cole, Sarah Hunter, or anyone here in our community, she's done her due diligence to go out and get these players. And Sarah and Allison both told me, hey, I wanted to leave. I wanted to go outside the home, a few hours away. The reason why they stayed here, a big part of that, is how they felt on campus, the atmosphere, the environment, and Liz Bevel.
She's a rock star. She's a star, a fast rising star in this industry, Dan. No question about it. We're so blessed to have Liz here leading our women's lacrosse program, ranked in the top 5 nationally to start the season. We felt last year a contender for the national championship. We feel that again this year. You know, Liz relates so well to the young ladies in her program. She's dynamic, she's energetic, she's inspiring, and she draws talent. You know, we met that class. Or I met the class here a week ago. They were attending one of the basketball games and had the fortune of meeting class 11 strong, and they're all from this area. They're all from Central New York. We know what a hotbed Central New York is for women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse, but to have a class that big, comprised solely of people within an hour radius is pretty impressive. And know that Liz has a tremendous eye for talent, and she's going to try to maintain the standard where we are right now of being a national championship contender. So to bring that level of talent into our program and really house solely right here in Central New York is pretty exciting.
And I would be remiss to forget anybody else. So on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, who else would you like to make mention of here?
Yeah, we have a great lineup of coaches overall, men's coaches, women's coaches, but I'm thrilled that Mary Grimes, Kathy Braun, Liz Bevel, Tracy Roman, our softball coach, is just phenomenal. She's doing unbelievable things with that program. She's changed the culture. I think you're going to see it in the win-loss column this spring. That team is going to be contending for a championship in the NE10 very soon. As soon as this year, I believe, and she is tremendous. Has been very active in the travel coaching circuit here in the Syracuse area for many years. Someone I'm really excited to have the opportunity to work with daily. Same thing with Beth Fabian, our women's volleyball coach, and Beth has done great things with that program, and we expect a bright future from the ladies there as well. And then we have a couple of men that are leading female programs, but I want to mention them because they've done great jobs. Obviously, Jeff Lonzak, our tennis coach, what he's done with that program is simply amazing. With small numbers and a championship contender, Jeff has been phenomenal. Joe Tesori, now coaching our women's golf team. Joe was many years the men's coach here, now assumed added duties as a women's coach to his resume and doing a phenomenal job with that team. That team finished second in the NE10s this fall, and we expect them to have a great spring. There's Robin Willis and Joe Hanna that coach our track and field, cross country, and swimming programs respectively, and those are also coaches that coach both the men's and women's programs, and both are so dedicated. Joe is the only head coach in the history of LeMoyne swimming. He founded the program and has been the head swimming coach here for 30 years. And Robin has done phenomenal things with that program with limited resources. We don't have a track here. So the fact that Robin is able to recruit and coach and develop athletes to the level that he does is a tribute to his great work.
That coming from Bob Beretta. Bob, before I let you go, you said you're a proud girl dad.
I am.
And so I want to give you a moment here to shout out, because when we talk about girls and women in sports, it doesn't just mean those playing on the fields and the courts, also those working within these programs and helping out. And as we know, the background and everything that people do that's maybe not seen is just as important, if not more important, to make sure things go seamlessly. So I want to shout out your daughter and give you an opportunity for that.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of my daughter. I coached my daughter on the girls' softball travel circuit for almost a dozen years. She played at Sacred Heart University, went on to become a student athlete, also in cross country and track and field. Added that to her athletic milestones that she was able to achieve, and led her there, and was a scholarship athlete her last year after having never run track in her life. Very proud of her. Now she's continued her athletics career, not that she's a participant, but she is working in the athletic communications office at Syracuse University. I've been there since the summer and really doing a lot of behind the scenes work, and that's an area that I began my career and really spent the majority of my life in that world, in that external portion, and particularly in the oversight of sports information. And I have to tell you, I can't let a National Girls and Women in Sports Day pass without giving a shout out to someone at West Point that meant so much to me, means so much to me to this day. A lady named Maddie Salvani, and she has worked behind the scenes at West Point as selfless a servant as you'll ever see for more than 50 years. And we worked together for 35 years, and just an unbelievable legend in the field of college athletics, a trailblazer. She had more to do with integrating young females into sports at West Point than anyone. So my two favorites in the field of athletics on the female side are my daughter Julia and Maddie Salvani.
That coming from Bob Beretta, AD and DT, Athletics Director Bob Beretta of LeMoyne College, myself, Dan Tortora of Wake Up Call, here with you every single first and third Wednesday during Dolphin time at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate every single girl and woman in the world of sports today, tomorrow, and always. So a big shout out to each and every single one of you. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for truly making everything here at LeMoyne so much more beautiful, from the student athletes to the coaches and everybody working behind the scenes. There are some incredible people that we would like to honor today and always for all you do in Central and Upstate New York. Bob, as always, fins up.
Fins up, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecubal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the Southern Tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, all inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out here where sports meets that thing called life, and so much appreciate having you here with us. Cafe Kubal, fill your cup up right, keep yourself warm today with their coffees, their chais, their teas, and all of their incredible sandwiches and desserts. Cafe Kubal is an everyday necessity, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, for the people that drink coffee every single day, it's like set it and have it every day. For somebody like me, I'm loving the chai, and they make the chai there, the spices, the syrups, everything. It's just made right there for us. So I love everything that we get from Cafe Kubal because they're local, they care, the products are good. The drinks are awesome. The drive-through location, the double-decker at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, where you could go upstairs, downstairs. There's so many great things about Cafe Kubal, and I love the fact that they're here in our community. So make sure you support them today and support local every chance you get. With that being said, we continue this National Girls and Women in Sports Day by continuing to do what we do on Wake Up Call every day, every week. This is who we are. Honoring women, honoring men, honoring the great people of the sports world that are here in our community of Central and Upstate New York and beyond. So I'm so very thankful that this morning, as we honor National Girls and Women in Sports Day, that I have the opportunity to continue the conversation that Bob Beretta and I started by having Mary Grimes, the head coach of the LeMoyne College Dolphins, on the broadcast, as well as Haedyn Roberts from the LeMoyne College Dolphins women's basketball team. So a lot of great stuff coming up here right now. And with that being said, we're going to jump in to my conversation with Haedyn Roberts first here. And Haedyn will give her thoughts on the team right now, what's going on, the makeup of the team at LeMoyne, and so much more. So here is Haedyn Roberts as we continue the conversation honoring women and girls in sports.
Haedyn, looking at this team and where you are right now, getting 10 wins in conference as you step forward, just what that means to this squad and what it means in the NE10, which, you know, like you said, revenge you were out for in this one. Any team, it really doesn't matter. The record's going to give you everything they can.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a big accomplishment. You know, our team goes in to every game knowing that NE10's a competitive league and anybody can win at any time. And so I think just keeping that focus and keeping that energy and trusting each other really helps us in our success.
Coming off the bench and being able to help the team, just what you can say about how everybody is looking out for each other and there is no selfishness.
Yeah, we share the ball great. You know, we all love each other. We all are there to pick each other up. And just knowing that, like, anyone on the team contributes all they can, and not just one person is filling the stat sheet. We're all filling the stat sheet, and I think that goes to say a lot about who we are as a team and who we are as individual teammates and players too.
What has created so much success this season, in your opinion, with this team?
I think just having that close-knit community. You know, we hold each other accountable in practice. We compete really hard, and just knowing that we're in the gym every single day to get better.
And you talked about your coaches, Coach Joe and Coach Grimes, just how they've made you personally better as you've gone through these first 15 games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year I didn't have a season because of COVID, and coming in this year was a new season for me. I had never played before, and so I think just having them behind me and their support really helped me along the way, and just kind of like finding my way and like navigating basically being a rookie this year.
National Girls and Women in Sports Day, just what that means to you.
I think it's important for women's sports to get recognized. You know, growing up, I think it's important for young girls to have role models at all college levels, and I think it just shows them that women in sports matter just as much as men in sports and stuff. And I think just being that role model, like Coach said, for her young daughter, just being able to be someone she can look up to and talk to and kind of model after is something we take a lot of pride in.
Who has the bigger personality, Coach or her daughter?
Oh, Mia's great. She's a fireball. We love her.
So you're going to give it to Mia?
I would say, yeah, she's great.
All right, fair enough. Thank you.
So Mia getting that, Mia running around the Ted Grant court yesterday for the game and the big time win for the LeMoyne College Dolphins, and there's Haedyn Roberts speaking about that and the importance of women getting represented, women's sports getting a spotlight, women's sports having a place in our society, and that again is something that I don't have to spell out to anybody that's watched or listened to this show. I get energized and I get excited. I just love the opportunity. It doesn't matter, what women's sport it is. It doesn't matter, to me, it doesn't. I don't see anything but who you are, the content of your character. That's what I see. And beyond that, you could be a donkey that coaches a team. You could be a person that's white with purple polka dots. It doesn't matter to me. And, so for National Girls and Women in Sports Day, I love the fact that we get to honor this day with these awesome specials. And if you come back any other week, we're going to be honoring, women in sports. So to me, this is an everyday thing. And, so it's great to have a day that gets to celebrate that. But, just like I tell people, don't wait until Valentine's Day to somebody you love to tell someone you love that you love them. Same thing with this. Don't wait until National Girls and Women in Sports Day to start paying attention. Next up, Mary Grimes giving her thoughts not only on women in sports, but on her team currently and on the beginning of Black History Month.
Mary, just what you could say about getting this is the 10th win, now double-digit wins inside of the conference, just what that means to you stepping forward with the NE10.
Well, I never know those stats, Dan, but thank you for those. I think it's just a credit to our seniors and their leadership. Erin, Emma, and Jenna, just continue to, set the standards high of themselves and of the team. And, they're the driving force behind this. I'm just trying to get out their way.
And when you look at how the team performed here, especially in the second half, and how they stayed on and kept that double-digit lead, just what you could say about the ability to kind of stave off any chance that they had that they tried to shrink the game a little bit in this one.
Yeah, and like I said in the post game, I give all the credit to Erin Foraker. She's an unbelievable leader. She's an unbelievable extension of me. And at halftime, she's just like, Coach, I think we need to run this and this. And, I just let her fly. And it's a credit to her that we're going the way we're going.
And when you talk about that, the fact that the players actually have a say in this, just how important that is that you hear their voice.
Yeah, that's my number one goal is to empower them as women. So if I, don't let them speak and speak their voice, then I'm not doing them justice. So, I ask for their opinions all the time. They hear my words and I hear their words, and we just work together to get the W's.
We're inside of Black History Month officially. You have your shirt, Inclusion Matters. Just what you want to say about that.
I just think, Coach Bob Beretta, he set the tone with that, just understanding the magnitude of hiring a first African-American here at LeMoyne, and, I'm just trying to do him justice, so thank you again.
National Girls and Women in Sports Day as well this week. Just what you want to say about being a part of that as a coach and a player, and just what you want to do to empower the players that you have.
Yeah, I think it's important that young girls have role models, and our women, I think, are exceptional role models for young girls. My daughter travels all the time. There's young girls in the stands all the time, and they're doing an unbelievable job just, carrying themselves and having great attitude. So more power to them.
That coming from Miss Mary Grimes, honoring women, honoring her current team, honoring Black History Month, honoring so many things that matter in our society, and I think, I think two things when we're talking about this stuff. I think to myself, number one, why, do we have to have months to honor what should be honored every day? Like, why do we have to remind people, hey, if you're a different color, you still matter? Why do we have to have a National Girls and Women in Sports Day when every day that should matter. But growing up as a kid, you know, and maybe it still is, but you know, if you didn't play well or I missed a shot on the basketball court, somebody would say you play like a girl. And it was always a derogatory thing, you know, built inside you to tell you, hey, you play like a girl, which meant you played subpar. You played below the men. And that to me is hurtful, you know? And, you know, I mean, I grew up where women were treated poorly. I saw that. And I could see it and understand that I didn't want to be that way. You know, nobody needs to do my laundry. Nobody needs to cook for me. Nobody needs to get me a sandwich. And so in my life, I am confused that we have to say, hey, remember African Americans. Hey, remember Hispanic people. You know, hey, remember somebody who doesn't look like you. Hey, if someone's got a different religion, that's okay. You know, I mean, I feel an obligation when I turn the mic on every single day that I don't just overlook the fact that I'm friends with people that are all different colors of the rainbow and different sexual orientations and different nationalities and different backgrounds and different amount of money and different households that they came from. But I don't care about that. I care about the content of your character. You know, my best and closest friends came from tragedy, came from pain, came from not being treated fairly. And sometimes it could have to do with color. Sometimes it could have to do with wrong place, wrong time. Sometimes it could have to do with they just didn't have good parents. So, you know, I mean, I think that for me, I am so happy that there's a National Girls and Women in Sports Day and that we get to honor them with Bob Beretta, Mary Grimes, and Haedyn Roberts, and as well as, you know, honor other people that we spoke about. But at the same time, that's something I think we should do every day. You know, why did it take the WNBA forever to be created? You know, why? You know, the NWSL is getting some promo right now, but some people still don't know that there's a women's soccer league in the country for pros. Yet you watch the World Cup, and where do you think those women come from? Where do you think those people representing the United States of America, where do you think they play during the year? So, you know, I mean, it's, you know, and I still think, you know, lacrosse has a way to go for men's and women's professionally. You know, I think women's soccer can seek to evolve, but it took men's soccer forever to evolve in the States. And so, you know, I mean, I think, are we always kind of seemingly behind the times for things? Yes. But what if we all woke up today, collectively, all woke up today, 2/2/2022, right? Hindsight's 2020. So let's look at all this. What if we woke up today and we said to ourselves, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what religion or who you choose to love. As long as you're loving people, doing good things in society, and helping each other out, you're okay in my book. What if we all did that today? What if we all just loved each other because it's the right thing to do? Because it's the only thing to do? What if we did that? What if we just gave everything we possibly could and we were nice to everybody? I asked myself that question. And so, you know, National Girls and Women in Sports Day, awesome. Black History Month, awesome. My challenge to you and the burden I feel as a broadcast right now is, can tomorrow be National Girls and Women in Sports Day? And a day after that? And a month after that? Will you watch a WNBA game? Will you go to a women's athletic game or a girls' athletic game? Will you stop saying you play like a girl and use it as a negative moniker? Because as far as I'm concerned, if somebody tells me I play like a girl, that means I'm playing pretty darn good. Because the women I know are really good. The coaches I know, the players I know, the people I know, raised by the best, G-Mama and my mom. My mom had never been to a women's basketball game. I didn't know that. I asked her to come with me last night to LeMoyne to support the Dolphins. I just wanted to be there for Mary and the team. And my mom showed up. We sat right behind the bench. And she looked at me as soon as we sat down and she said, you know, I've never been to a women's basketball game. And I was like, for real? She's like, no. I said, well, I'm happy that we're here then. I'm happy we're in the community. I'm happy that we chose one of the wonderful schools here and institutions. You know, I want to thank all the great coaches that I've gotten to talk to and all the women's athletic programs. I'm excited for the news I mentioned yesterday, which is going to involve Clay Sherman a lot more, women's basketball coach at Bryan and Stratton. You know, I'm excited for Alex and coming off a championship in Bryan and Stratton women's soccer. So, you know, I'm just so moved by the hope that I always have in this world. Now, sometimes that hope is shaken. The faith is shaken. Sometimes that happens because this world has a way of kicking you in the behind sometimes. But I know beyond a doubt that we can do this thing together. I know we can make it. I know that whatever our history is, it doesn't have to be our present. Whatever our past is, doesn't have to be our future. So on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, I salute you, girls and women in sports. And at the beginning of Black History Month, I support you, every single person in the African American community. But I support you every day. So I love the fact that we got to have these awesome conversations here with Bob Beretta, Mary Grimes, and Haedyn Roberts about honoring women. But we're going to go ahead and have these conversations all year long because honoring women is not just something to do one day, and it's not just a part of my show. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday importance. It's an everyday vibe. And I'm so blessed that God turned my microphone on and said, go get him, young buck. I'm here, and I ain't leaving. Taking a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Kion Wright joins the show. Defensive end 2023 incoming class. Plenty of offers. 15, I believe, this morning at the time that we're talking, including one from Syracuse. You don't want to miss what Kion has to say right after this fast break, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thank you so much for being here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. While you watch and while you listen, go fill your cup up with your favorites at Cafe Kubal. And if you've never been there, well, today's the best day to give it a shot. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. From inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, you're watching and listening as well on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on facebook.com/livenowdt for a very special recruiting trail conversation with Kion Wright. Kion Wright joins us here today from Cheltenham and from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, hanging out inside of the Cafe Kubal studios and talking with us about his recruitment as an edge rusher for the incoming class of 2023. So let's bring him in. Kion, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing very well. And Kion, first and foremost, bring me into, the Philly area. Where are you abouts in Philly? And I guess you got to tell me what the best cheesesteak really is.
the bet. Well, I'm from West Philadelphia. I'm from West Philadelphia, but now I live in Cheltenham. And the best cheesesteak, I get my cheesesteak from my it's like my pizza store that's near my house is called In-N-Out, and their cheesesteak just bomb, man. Salt, pepper, ketchup, fried onions, and mayo. I get it a couple times a week. But for the big things, like when people come from out of town into Philly, I would say go to Max Cheesesteaks. Max's is their cheesesteaks is bomb.
All right, fair enough. So you got some good places. So In-N-Out is one that you definitely brought up here. So what now? I got to ask you this because I know down in like the Philly area they put cheese sauce on it, like the liquid cheese. Or no, I'm sorry, they put not cheese sauce. They put the spray cheese on. I'm used to having like melted actual cheese, like American cheese or provolone. Is Cheese Whiz really the way to go? I mean, is that like the official?
Yeah, I would say that.
And do you like it's? I mean, it's spray cheese out of a can. I mean, is it really that good? I've never had a cheesesteak with that on it.
It's that good.
Okay.
It's that good.
All right, fair enough. So that coming from Kion Wright, hanging out with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Kion, bring me into the beginning for you and how you fell in love with the sport of football.
I fell in love with the sport of football when this really how it happened. I started playing flag when I was 5. When I was 5, I started playing flag, but then I stopped for about 5 years. But throughout them 5 years, I was always playing video games that had to do with football. I always was watching football. I was a kid around the neighborhood in West Philly. Everybody had a football. Everybody was playing football. So football was always my favorite sport, and I was good at it. So then when I turned 10, I would just wind up playing again. My best friend at the time, he told me to come out and try out for the Overbrook Monarchs. God rest his soul, he passed now, but he told me to come out and try out for the Overbrook Monarchs around West Philadelphia, and I started playing there, and I haven't stopped playing football since that day.
And so
just kept on going. Go ahead.
No, and you talked about your friend, and you said, God rest his soul, and I'm sorry for your loss. Bring me into just what he has meant in your life and maybe how he lives on.
He literally he is literally why I keep going with this football stuff now. He passed away in July, so that's right before the football season starts. So that was in the summer. That's right before the football season starts. So he just been living through me. Every game I wear something with him. Every game I have a shirt with his name on it, Forever KJ. Every single game. And every time I make a tackle, every time I make a sack, every time I bat a ball down, I always think about him because I wish he was on the field with me doing the sport that he loves as well. So,
and what happened to him, Kion?
He passed away due to a gunshot. He got shot.
And Kion, I think that people obviously don't understand that. I mean, yeah, we have this sport of football, and we have this game that so many people pay attention to and love and whatnot. But the fight that some people have in their life, in the community, in certain situations is so much bigger
What can you say you learned from that? And I'm so sorry to hear that. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time that you hear a conversation about that. And especially, I mean, it hits home in Central and Upstate New York and around the country that there are these moments where this happens, and gun violence and violence in general. So just what you could say about maybe what you've learned from it and what it says to you about how precious life is.
What I learned about that is really take football 100% serious. Like, gotta get out of here. Gotta move your family away. Philadelphia is a dangerous place. So, and I can make it out of Philadelphia playing the sport that I love. I can go away to college for free and going on from there. So, that situation really made me. Like, I gotta step this football stuff up. Like, I gotta get back in the gym. I gotta work on this. I gotta work on that because I have to make it out here. I do not want to be another stat. I do not want to be another statistic of Philadelphia. So I gotta get out of here, and I gotta get my family out of here.
Kion, when you mention that, how much do you feel of that on your shoulders, and how much of that is kind of on your mind all the time, that it's not just about you when it comes to your dreams, but it's about, like you said, your family and protecting your family. Do you feel that every day?
I feel it every day. Every time I wake up, it's a sense of urgency.
And how do you deal with that pressure?
By just putting it all on the field, putting it all in the gym, putting it all in the weight room, putting it all when I'm jogging around the corner away from my house, and when I'm all that, like, every time I'm taking that into consideration when I'm doing my homework, when I'm taking my test, when I'm doing my classwork, because all of it counts towards the goal.
That coming here from Kion Wright, spending some time with us on Wake Up Call 2023, incoming freshman as an edge rusher for college football out of Cheltenham in Pennsylvania, and in that Philadelphia area. Your first offer, Kion, came from, no big deal, Texas A&M. And so, your first Division I offer. What did that mean to you that, like, first D1 offer just so happens to be an SEC team, Texas A&M, and a coach that I've gotten to know over the years when he was at FSU, Jimbo Fisher. So, great recruiter, strong coach, a winning coach, a coach that knows what it's like to win a championship, and who's in the SEC. So, bring me into that first offer from Texas A&M.
Man, that first offer was big, man. Like, it was like my first offer was from Texas A&M, like you said, an SEC school, one of the biggest conferences in the nation. So that being my first offer, I almost shed a tear, because like it was just so, like, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming, because I could have been, like, my first offer could have been anything else. It could have been a small school, and it would have been different. But because my first offer was such a big school, like, it really made me realize, like, all right, this is real. Like, this is real. This football stuff is real, and I got a chance to make it out now.
Yeah, and like you said almost shed a tear. I'd be bawling my eyes out, man. Come on now.
Because I'm not too much of a crier. I'm not too much of a crier, but that I almost did.
Yeah. So after you get Texas A&M, no big deal. Right after that, Penn State, and then after Penn State, you get Maryland, and then you bring in West Virginia, Boston College. Right there in Philly, you get Temple University, then you get Colorado University, and then as we step forward here from Colorado, you were able to get an offer from Virginia Tech, and then after Virginia Tech, we saw that, the offers started coming in here, and there was a bunch of them. Bowling Green came in for you. Then we saw Ole Miss, Syracuse, UConn, Cincinnati, and then most recently Duke. What has life been like for you on this recruiting trail as I'm reading off these names? I would have been happy if I had one of them, two of them, three of them. And, I mean, looking at this list for you, you have a pretty incredible opportunity wherever you go.
Yes.
So bring me into it. I mean, what's it like?
Funny story. My Colorado and Temple offer, I actually got that on my birthday. So that was another day where I was overwhelmed with joy.
You know, and to have that on your birthday, by the way, happy belated. To have those offers from Colorado and Temple on your birthday, like, what did that do for you? Because that's going to be with you forever.
Forever. I'm gonna remember that day. I'm gonna remember probably most memorable, the first offer I ever got for sure, and I got 2 offers on my birthday. I never thought that would be happening.
You know, and then we look at, you know, overall here this past week and the past I would say the past 10 days here that I'm taking a look at this. Within the past 10 days of our conversation here, we saw Ole Miss, Syracuse, UConn, Cincinnati, and Duke. Bring me into that. And, you know, to get 5 schools in such a short window, just what that's been like for you to see that your recruitment was already good, already strong, already there, already going to, you know, give you an opportunity to go to a bunch of different places potentially and go visit and try and figure things out. And then you get 5 offers in less than 2 weeks. Just what you could say about that.
It made me happy again because I had my last offer before that was like a month or so before, so it felt good to have colleges start. Colleges always keeping in touch with me, but brand new colleges starting to talk to me again and call my phone and text my head coach and things like that. And now I'm trying to get a visit schedule. I'm trying to get my visit schedule throughout right now and throughout the spring to go start visiting these colleges so I can make a decision at some time.
And Kion, what are you thinking as far as where you'd like to go visit? Do you have a list of schools that you definitely want to go see?
I want to go see almost every. I want to see it all of them, man. I'm probably not gonna be able to go see all of them, but I'm gonna visit a lot of them. Me and my mom and my coach. We gonna be on the road this spring. We definitely gonna be on the road. I wanted to make sure I'm making the full decision. Like the best decision for me to spend my next 4 years. And I'm a firm believer into doing that. You have to go visit the college. I don't know how people, I don't feel like I can make a commitment off of just texting somebody or being on the phone with somebody. I feel like I need to see where I'm going to be at the next 4 years. I feel like I need to be in that locker room, need to be in that football uniform, need to be shaking the hands with this coach, that coach, see what they eat, see what they drink, see how they work out. I feel like I need to be able to visualize all that before I make my decision.
Yeah, speaking here with Kion Wright, a 2023 edge rusher coming to us from Cheltenham in Pennsylvania and having the opportunity to speak about his recruitment while he's on the trail here. You know, Kion, I agree with you. And at the same time, for the last couple of years, we've had this in and out of virtual recruitment. What do you think about that? If you had to go virtual, if you had to do things virtually, do you think that you could make a decision, or would you hold out until the last possible second to make sure that you actually get to shake hands and sit with people?
That's a hard decision. I feel like I would have to have help from my parents to see what's the best decision with that. I don't feel like I could wait too long either. I don't feel like I could wait too long. I like to I would never want to wait too long, but I would have to figure something out. I hope that's not what happens, because that's kind of what happened last recruitment period around last spring and stuff. People couldn't visit colleges and all that because of COVID. So I hope that doesn't happen with me. But if it do, then I probably am going to have to go the virtual route because I don't want to wait too late.
Do you have a dream school? Did you ever have one growing up?
My dream school growing up was LSU.
Okay. So if LSU was to offer you, what would that do for you?
You said if LSU was to offer me?
Yeah.
I'm hopping on a plane the next day and going to go take a visit. Just cause I wouldn't even say that's my dream school now. But just growing up, I always wanted to be in them colors growing up. LSU, I always had 2 dream colleges, LSU and Georgia, especially because I have family down in Georgia. So them 2 schools, if I ever get offered by them, I'm on the plane the next day.
And like you said, I mean, like, you want to go visit these places, and you've talked about wanting to go see a bunch of places, but with those two schools, you said flat out, hey, I'd be on the plane the next day. So, I mean, what would that do? Like, let's say a week from now, a couple weeks from now, you and I talk, 3 weeks from now, and Georgia and LSU are on here. Do they automatically shoot to the top of your recruitment, or how do you see that?
I want to say automatically. But they'll yeah, no, they would. They'll shoot up there. They wouldn't be, I wouldn't say they'd be the front runners, but they'll shoot up there for sure.
So you said you want to try and see every place. There's a bunch of places. You got a ton of offers. Do you have any schools like you have to see? Like, do you have a few schools saying, hey, I want to make sure that I at least go here if I can't go to some of the other places?
Say that one more time.
Like, do you have, I know you said you want to try and go see everybody, but if you couldn't see everybody, do you have a list of schools where you're like, hey, I want to make sure that I at least go see these places?
Yeah, I'd say that. Like, I definitely want to go visit Ole Miss. I definitely want to go visit Cincinnati. I definitely want to go visit Duke. I already visited Penn State. I definitely want to go visit Texas A&M.
Okay, fair enough.
And I visited West Virginia already. I visited Maryland already. And I also want to get out to Duke and UConn too. And I feel like I can make it happen.
Now, Syracuse gave you an offer. You didn't mention that you have visited or that you definitely want to make it out there. So where does Syracuse stand?
Syracuse is Syracuse up there too because I like the conversation I had with the coach. I promise you, the only reason I didn't mention Syracuse is because I be forgetting all the offers I got myself. I had to sit here and go on my phone and pull up which offers. I have 14 now, so I be losing count.
So, but you said Ole Miss, Cincinnati, Duke, like in Texas A&M right off the rip. I mean, is it fair to say that those are like must-see places?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Why? And I got to ask you, I looking at these schools, obviously I cover college football all over the country, but I've covered Cincinnati closely over the last decade and all through the Luke Fickell era. Why is Cincinnati a place that you have to make sure you get out to see?
I love that underdog culture that Cincinnati be having. I love that underdog culture and that they made it. They made it to the top 4, and they're not even a Power 5 school. I've never seen that before. So I definitely want to get out to there.
And you talked about Ole Miss, the Lane train. What do you like about Ole Miss, maybe Lane Kiffin or somebody out there?
Ole Miss, it's a couple guys from Philly that's down there now. So I see a little pipeline going on with that. And also, Ole Miss plays in the SEC. So why not?
And you talk.
And Ole Miss did very well this year. They definitely getting up there. I think they had a little bit of a down season the year before, and they picked it right back up.
And you said that Duke, you wanted to make sure you went out to Duke as well. Why Duke?
Because I love the way Duke talked to me, and I love the way Duke came and offered me, came up to my school and offered me. And I don't get a lot of offers like face to face, so that was special to me. Like usually, like I'll be on the phone or texting. Like I actually got to shake somebody's hand and get an offer, so that felt great to me. Especially a school like Duke, you have to have good grades and stuff. It made me feel like all my schoolwork has been paying off. Because to go to Duke, your grades had to be very good. So that also felt good too.
Speaking here at Kion Wright, edge rusher coming out in 2023 to college football. Plenty of offers from Cheltenham in Pennsylvania by Philadelphia. Speaking with me on the schools that he definitely wants to make sure he gets out to. Kion, I would imagine based on our conversation up to this point and what you just said about Duke, that the schools that actually physically come to see you face-to-face are going to hold potentially more weight to you, or that it's going to have a special meaning to you, the schools that actually take the time to come out and physically shake your hand and see you instead of just calling you or texting you?
Yes, I'm all about feeling, especially with these colleges, I'm all about feeling loved and feeling wanted. So if I feel loved and wanted, and that even non-football related, even football related and non-football related, then I will definitely take you into a lot more consideration.
And Texas A&M, you mentioned them. Obviously, they're your first D1 offer. I know that means a lot to you. Why do you want to make sure you go out to Texas A&M?
Because Texas A&M is building something great over there. They just had a probably, I think it's the best class of 2022 just now. So they about to hit the ground rolling. They are building something down at College Station. So.
And you mentioned UConn. UConn getting a new head coach. They're an independent school now. Used to be part of the Big East and then the American. What intrigues you about UConn, and why do you want to go out and see them?
I heard they have a new head coach who has like a lot of active NFL players in the league right now. So obviously they're trying to turn that program around. So I'm all for it.
They're coming here from Kion Wright. Kion, you didn't mention Syracuse outright. I know you said it's hard for you to remember all your offers, but what about Syracuse do you like, and are you planning on going out to visit them?
Oh yeah, no, I'm visiting Syracuse, especially because that's closer to me. I'm definitely going to get out and visit Syracuse and meet them. The only thing I just haven't talked to Syracuse as much. When they offered me, I talked to them that day and a little bit day after that. But I haven't talked to them since then. Even though that was only a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure they're gonna hit me up again. But yeah, I'm still going. I asked the coach when can I come down there and take a visit on the phone, and he said he's gonna get back to my head coach and let me know we can go take a trip down there. So.
And do you remember what coach you talked to?
I forget.
So Syracuse kind of comes in, like you said, within the last few days of us talking here now. Who has shown you the most love? I know some teams have advantage because they got to you sooner or they offered you sooner, but I could call it an advantage, but it's also not in the sense of like it's not somebody's fault that they offered you first, you know what I mean? It's like Texas A&M could offer you and be the first one to offer you and then not say anything to you. So whether it's 2 days in or 2 months in, a school decides how much they want to get involved in the times that they can reach out. So who has shown you the most love?
I'm gonna be honest. There is no one who is showing the most love right now. There's no one who is just past everybody else at this moment in time. It's still very early.
Okay. And you said you went to visit Penn State, West Virginia, and Maryland already. What did you like about those schools, if you could speak about each of them individually?
Penn State, I like how when I got out the car, almost every coach on the staff came out and shook my hand. And I saw the whole campus, the whole school. Maryland probably has one of the best facilities I ever seen. Maryland facilities is very nice, and I feel like I felt love there as well. And I visited West Virginia. I love going to West Virginia. I love how they I love their how they weight room is and how they work out. Their whole workout program and strength and conditioning program. We was talking about that for almost a half hour. It's a whole science behind how their strength and conditioning is when they're working out in the off season and during the season as well. So that was crazy. I never seen it. Was things that I actually put to my workout plan that I got from West Virginia because of how crazy that is down there. And I also visited Temple. And Temple welcomed me. I met their head coach, D-line coach. I met a lot of their coaches, and I felt loved in that staff as well.
Well, you talked about getting out of the Philadelphia area. So does Temple have a disadvantage because they're in the Philly area? If you talked about wanting to get out of Philly, get your family out of Philly, so does that hurt Temple?
I wouldn't say it hurts Temple. Just a little bit of an advantage. Just a little bit of a disadvantage because I said I wanted to get out of Philadelphia. I don't want to go necessarily too far but just out of the danger parts of Philadelphia. But if Temple can turn it around and Temple start recruiting me harder, I could who knows.
That coming here from Kion Wright. Kion, before I let you go here, what are your best attributes and where would you like to work on your game the most? So what are you doing the best in your opinion, and what are the things that you're working on the most?
Say that one more time.
Your best attributes in the game. So what you think are the best pieces of your game, and then secondly, where you want to improve the most.
I don't feel like nobody can use their hands as well as me as a defensive end or edge rusher. I don't feel like nobody can use their hands. How fast my hands are, how quick my hands are, how I know what to do in mid-play and what move to use, what move not to use, and all that. I don't feel like nobody can do that like me. And also, the only I feel like I need to get better in is being vertically fast.
Okay, fair enough. That coming from Kion Wright here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Kion, I appreciate it so much. Shelton him here with us, speaking on the high school, speaking on the Philly area, and on your recruitment and how quick things have come about. Sounds like you've had a ton of fun coming through this so far. You've gotten to get your first offer from Texas A&M. You got 2 offers on your birthday from Colorado and Temple, and you just had a bunch of offers string together pretty quickly here. So your recruitment's kind of been the gift that keeps on giving. How do you stay humble, and how do you make sure that you continue to appreciate the recruiting process?
By just being myself. That's how I'm already in.
Simple as that. And when would you like to make your decision? When would you like to have things wrapped up? If you could choose any time currently, I know things could change here and there, but when would you like to have your decision?
Things definitely can change, and things definitely probably will change, but in my head, probably around the summertime.
Okay. So this summer of 2022, you want to know where you're going?
Yes.
Fair enough. Kion Wright hanging out with us on Wake Up Call. Kion, as always, I appreciate your time. Would love to have you back on the show to play rapid fire and do some other cool things that we do here. So would love to have you back and continue with you on your trail. And I appreciate you taking some time. So if you'd like to come back, I'd love to have you.
Okay, bet. I would be definitely wanting to come back on here.
All right. Well, listen. Take care of the family. Say hello to your family for me. And once again, I'm sorry to hear about your friend, and that his family will be in my prayers from here on out. And I just hope that you continue to count your blessings and fight the way that you've been fighting to do the best you can. And I'm looking forward for great things coming for you. Okay.
Yes, Kalen Johnson.
Kalen Johnson. Okay. So I'll keep Kalen in my prayers and his family as well. So please be safe and be well. And I look forward to talking with you soon, Kion.
Appreciate it. Stay in touch.
All right, man. Take care.
You do the same.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying. In the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. What's up, good people? Inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, just so happy to be here with you and appreciate you being here, hanging out with us where sports meets life. I got some messages coming in here that I want to make sure I got to. Mike said, congrats on the new partnership with Bryan and Stratton College. The Bobcats are getting the media attention they deserve. Thank you, sir. I will make sure of that. Mike also said, wow, what stretch of games for SU football. NC State, Clemson, Notre Dame. Wow, what a reality check. Amen. Then Greg said, Kion has a lot of SEC love. Can't blame him. Great stuff. DT, really enjoy the recruiting interviews. Great connections, great stories. Yeah, man, and there's plenty to come. I love being on the recruiting trail. I am so humbled by that, and I just love it. I love every second of it. So there's so much fun in that, and being able to make those connections and share those stories with these awesome kids all over the country, and some people all over the world. So I definitely am so excited about that. So with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, my dude Mike Sofka is back on the broadcast. Every Wednesday I'm hanging out with Mike Sofka, Hall of Fame fantasyfootball.com in the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Sometimes we give you 2 hours. Sometimes, we give you our little pieces here at this point in the season where there's one game coming up here, but fantasy studs of the NFL, we're going to talk about that, what's going on here in the playoffs and who's really kind of, left a mark with us, so to speak. So there's a lot of great stuff to talk about. Love talking with Mike. It's the Fantasy Football Power Hour, and Hall of Fame fantasyfootball.com is where you go. You can also go to our Winning Fantasy Football group on Facebook and click join, and we'd love to let you in there and talk with us about all things football. Ton of great news coming up this morning, and I'm so grateful for Mike. So many years of great conversation and friendship. So let's bring in the beard that can stop all hands of time. Mr. Sofka, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well, man. How's the beard doing?
It's good. It's good. I concentrate on growing it every night. I go through a ritual. I hang from it. I hang the beard from the ceiling, and I stretch it out that way, make it nice, long, and straight. It's good.
I love that. I can picture you doing that now. Your acrobatics has been incredible. I mean, to know the strength of this beard is so meaningful, and all of that. How's everything been going down in the? I'll be down in the great state of Florida in just a couple days. Rocking and roll, actually having a vacation, OMG. So, what can you tell me about Florida? The snow that fell here like 2 weeks ago is still on the ground because it's so cold. So, I know it's supposed to be 60s, 70s, 50s at night. What I love about this time of year, and what I love about this weather in Florida is that I love t-shirt, shorts, sneakers, sweatshirt. That's my perfect weather, where it's warm enough, but there's still a breeze, and it's still cool at night, so that I can be comfy. I'm so excited about coming down to Florida. So how's the Sunshine State doing?
It's doing wonderful, and the sweatshirt thing is cool because what you're doing is you're repping that you're got a part of Florida in you with this sweatshirt, but you're repping that you have northern in you because you're wearing the shorts in what some people would consider cold weather in Florida. So that's great. It's going to be 80s in the next couple of days here, but you're right. Next week's going to be in 60s. I'm holding down the fort here. Everything's wonderful. Tom Brady is the talk of the state, of course. Was he indeed going to retire? And yes, I guess he was. So, that's the biggest buzz around here. Is Kyle Trask the man? Is he going to take over? What's going to happen? Of course, we expect Gronk to leave Tampa as well because Brady's the only quarterback he wants to play for. And then you got the Jaguars bumbling their way through, office and coaching decisions, and then you got Miami who let go of Brian Flores, and now he's suing the NFL. So there's a bunch of stuff going on down here in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, and it really is, I feel like that's where we should go today. I mean, the fantasy stud conversation, there's plenty of places where you could bring that over the next few weeks, but Mike, let's stick in Florida. You're in Florida. It's the second hub of my show. Obviously Central and Upstate New York, State of New York is home, and Florida is home as well. Coverage of, I've been out to the Dolphins training camp, been to the Bucks, obviously the Jaguars now for 11, 12 years, going into my 12th year of covering them on site, on location in some respect. USF, aka South Florida, UCF, Miami, Florida State. A lot, in the high schools and whatnot. I'm very, very much, connected to the state of Florida. And there's 3 NFL teams down there: the Miami Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they all have different storylines going on right now. So let's pick them apart one by one. Pick them apart isn't the right word. Let's decipher what's going on one by one. So Miami, Brian Flores goes 8-1 in his last 9 games. The irony of that is that I don't remember many seasons in recent history where Miami's won 8 games in the whole season, let alone 8 of their last 9. What was your original thought of the firing when he went 8-1? I mean, arguably, he was the hottest coach in the last 9 games of the regular season, yet he got fired. So how did you kind of assess the situation initially to say, Miami has been in the basement for a while. There was the whole tanking for Tua for 2 years. And then you got Brian Flores after Adam Gase. The team wins 8 of their last 9 games, and it's a fireable offense. What was your original thought about all that?
Yeah, I thought that maybe the Jaguars can get this guy because he's a good coach. It appeared as though players liked working with Brian Flores. It appeared like he was riding that ship. He seemed like a player's coach. He seemed like a guy who could get things done. They were on a winning trend. I mean, it's just like the stock market. You're not gonna buy at an all-time high. You're gonna sell. What they did was they sold him, right? But they got nothing in return. When you sell, that means you're getting something back. They just let him go, and on a coach that was seemingly turning the team around. There was some thoughts of bringing Deshaun Watson in, but of course they're going to stick with Tua, and they have some good receivers there. And it seemed like the defense was playing well. They were getting turnovers. I mean, it seemed like they were really surprising people and taking the league by storm in the second half of the year. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, no, we're going somewhere else. You've been here since 2019. You've had your 3 years. Let's go move. Or 2 years. I'm like, that's the problem with the NFL. We want to win now, and that's our society. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We're very impatient as a society. We stand in front of the microwave saying, I don't have all minute, hurry up. I mean, you got to give these guys some sort of time. There's a reason why your team was bad. Give this guy the tools and the time to get things corrected, and he will. And he was. I don't get it. But then again, I'm not an NFL owner. I'm not Stephen M. Ross. I don't have billions of dollars, and I'm not making these decisions. So I feel for Brian Flores, and hopefully he'll get to a situation that's going to be good for him and good for an NFL team.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things in this Brian Flores situation, and what I'm seeing here this morning, taking a look at this, is that, he alleges that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross attempted to incentivize him to quote-unquote tank or purposely lose games, and Ross allegedly offering Flores $100,000 for every loss in the 2019-20 season, is what this looks like here. General manager Chris Greer told Ross he was mad about the on-field success and that it was compromising their draft position. He also alleges that Ross pressured him into recruiting a prominent quarterback, and which the coach refused so as to not violate the NFL's tampering rules. Ross then allegedly invited Flores onto a yacht for lunch in 2020, where he informed him that the quarterback was conveniently arriving at the marina for an impromptu meeting. Flores refused that meeting and left the yacht. And so, I mean, this isn't just discrimination that he's filing with the NFL's Rooney Rule and alleging that, this rule is basically put in place, but not, a real thing. Here's the reality of it all. How many times have text messages gotten people in trouble? For real though. Like, how many times has a text message gotten you in trouble when you text the wrong person? I've had it happen to me. I had somebody call me that I was friends with and I also worked with. He called me wanting to call somebody named Dave. And when he called me, he started talking about me. And I said to him, Jim, this isn't Dave. And I said it a couple times, but he was talking so rapidly and he wasn't listening. So I sat there for 13 minutes and listened to him talk about Dan Tortora. And at the end of it all, I said, hey, Jim, it's Dan, just so you know. And then I hung up. And he cried. He called, he apologized. I said, no, don't apologize to me now. You know what I mean? And this whole thing with Bill Belichick, when Bill allegedly was congratulating him, thinking that he had texted the other Brian. And so, did Bill mistakenly do this? Or did Bill do this on purpose because Bill had a push of conscience saying, I need to let Flores know? I don't know. Only Bill can answer that. But how many times have text messages and phone calls to the wrong person gotten people in trouble? I tell people all the time, what you do in the darkness will always come to the light. And I think what we're seeing right now is that Brian Flores is going, you know what? I got fired, okay? And I'm pissed about it, so I'm going to go get a job somewhere else, right? But now I feel like I'm getting blackballed because I'm supposed to interview for a job that allegedly already had their guy. So he finds out that he was going to an interview allegedly after the coach was already decided upon, which means the team was just following the Rooney Rule, but they weren't actually ever going to give him a shot at the job. And so what did that create? Hell hath no fury, right? So now Brian Flores is going, Miami screwed me over. Apparently these teams that wanted me didn't really want me. They just needed to bring in a black coach for the interview process. So now he's not just outing all of that, he's outing all of it. And that's what I tell people all the time. When you push somebody and you push them, he's not just saying the Rooney Rule is not real. He's saying to you right now, not only did you do me dirty, but now I'm gonna air all your dirty secrets. Now I'm gonna talk about the owner of the Dolphins. I'm gonna talk about the GM of the Dolphins. I'm gonna talk about tanking. I'm gonna talk about tampering. I'm gonna literally pull the entire franchise down with me because of what they did to me. Mike, the worst thing in the world that the Dolphins and the NFL could have done is piss off Brian Flores, because now it doesn't seem like he's just going after the Rooney Rule. It seems like he's going after everything that he kept under wraps. And right now, I think the NFL should be terrified at if any of this is true. And if the Dolphins have done any of these things, they're going to be in a world of hurt if the NFL actually does something about it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to sweep this under the carpet somehow, some way. They'll donate, $87 million to some organization and say everything's fine and dandy and move on, because that's what takes care of business in the NFL, money. Whenever somebody bitches in the NFL, somebody gets paid. Somebody's coming in for a big payday. And it's usually not even somebody directly connected with the NFL. It's usually some other outside organization. So that when they do that, that makes me guess as well. Is this some sort of money laundering? Is this some sort of kickback thing? And then you get, disgruntled people because the money went to this other organization. They can't understand it. And it's so much money, too. I mean,
there's a lot that could be said about the new RDX.
The NFL, time and time again, stubs its toe on the corner of the bed when they're trying to get in bed and get comfortable. They just can't seem to get it all the time. But they always seem to make up for it, at least in their mind's eye, with a checkbook.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, we've been in these situations before. We've been with the Eric Bieniemy and is the Rooney Rule a real thing? And we talk about it and discuss it repeatedly of why did are you bringing these people in because you have to? Or are you bringing these people in just because they fit the color? And I mean, are you doing it because you're trying to follow the rule? Or are you doing it because it's a viable opportunity? Listen, the people that have worked for me, they're men, they're women, they're white, they're black. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think it's funny that when I hired Amani Free, who I've known since she was 12 years old, it was like, oh my gosh, look, Dan's so woke because she's black and she's a woman. And I was like, that's not why I hired Amani. I hired Amani because she's a really good person. So, I mean, it had nothing to do. She could have been a giraffe. I don't care. So, I mean, it's just, to me, affirmative action is essentially what this Rooney Rule is. It's a way of saying to colleges and now to the NFL, hey, you can't discriminate. Like, you have to at least attempt at doing the right thing. But, I mean, this is where it gets dicey. If I interview a bunch of people of different colors, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religions, and I end up hiring a white man, I don't want to hear that I'm racist. Because if I think he's the best for the job, then he's going to get the job. I don't want to do a reverse racism now. But at the same time, if I want to hire, let's say, I want to hire Jim Harbaugh, and I bring in Jim Caldwell, and I bring in Todd Bowles, and I bring in Brian Flores just to appease the NFL, then that's wrong too. I mean, it's the best person should get the job, regardless of color, background, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, and all the good stuff. And at the same time, the Rooney Rule is set in place so that there could be some equality. And I'm not for saying, hey, you need to hire Brian Flores because he's black. But I am for saying, don't bring Brian Flores in for an interview if you never have any intent of hiring him.
Yeah, that's just wrong. I mean, this happens in the corporate world all the time. I'll leave out the names and the identity of the company, but I'll give you an example. You know, and it works to the detriment of everyone. I worked for a company back in the 90s, a nationally known company. I was in the restaurant business for many years, and I opened restaurants. That's what I did. I traveled around. I opened restaurants for this company, and I opened a lot of them. And the vice president of the company was at one of these openings, and I overheard him saying, and I was trying to get promoted. You know, you're always trying to get promoted. And he said he's not going to promote any more men. He's just going to promote women because he thinks he can handle them and dictate to them better than men. Men will give him too much kickback, but the women will just listen to him and obey. And I quit the company. I'm not a woman, but I quit the company because I can't work for somebody who does business like that based on, like you said, race, sex, creed, national origin, whatever. I can't do that. And then that was the main reason I left the company. But then I looked back at it and I said, wow, I was protecting myself as well because I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm going to be middled out. I'm going to be the guy in the middle that one day doesn't have a job. I'm not going to get promoted anymore because that's the way this guy feels. So it does work bad both ways. It's just a bad situation for everybody. If people would just do the right thing from the get-go, but we're human and that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
No, you know, and now Brian Flores, and why him? You know, why all of a sudden is this lawsuit, you know, relevant when other coaches could have arguably had a case in the past? You know, it's just why now? But at the same time, thank God that, you know, maybe something will finally get done. But I'm just looking at Miami's franchise and I'm saying to myself, you guys have been rebuilding since Dan Marino retired. That was like 1,000 years ago. So it's the beginning of the 21st century. We're in 2022. You spent 2 decades kind of sucking all the time, and your coach goes 8-1 in the last 9 games, and you got beef about it? So, I mean, I don't know what Miami's hoping to accomplish, but I guess they're helping Jacksonville not look as bad, but then Jacksonville's not doing themselves any favors. So let's go to Jacksonville. Allegedly, Trent Baalke, according to many different things that I've read, is just ruining the franchise. He's been the GM for a year and some change. He came in with Urban Meyer, and Shad Khan brought him in. He was with the Niners, I believe. And now all of a sudden, this Trent Baalke is killing the franchise. He's blocking it. Listen, Shad Khan's the owner. He's got the veto, right? He's got the way that I understand ownership is, you know, you got the opportunity that if somebody beneath you is telling you how to do it and you don't agree with it, guess what? I'm going to do what I want to do. You're the owner, Shad. If Trent Baalke says, no, you can't hire Byron Leftwich, I would say, good for you, boo-boo. You don't own the team. So I don't know what this Trent Baalke thing is. All I know is that fans are going ballistic over this. They're frustrated as all get out over this, and they're saying he's blocking. Now, does a fan know the inner workings? No. 99% of the time, they don't. But why Jacksonville hasn't hired a coach when they were the first ones to get after it with the Raiders? Jacksonville made a massive mistake. And that mistake was they had a leg up months in advance time to get this done. They had weeks ahead of all of these other NFL teams except for the Raiders to bring coaches in, talk to coaches, and get the job done. They should have hired, on Black Monday, they should have hired their coach. On Tuesday, they should have hired their coach after Black Monday. They should have been like, you know what? We got everybody in. We interviewed all these people. Maybe there's a couple more we want to interview for the playoffs. That's fine. But we're going to interview these people, and we're going to have everything set and ready to go. They had 2 weeks ahead of everybody, 3 weeks ahead, 4 weeks ahead of everybody to write their term paper. But they waited to the last minute, and now they don't even know what their thesis is. That, to me, is a giant issue. When Shad Khan and Trent Baalke seem unprepared when they had more time than everybody else, it looks like they fired Urban Meyer on Black Monday. It looks like they had no leg up. They had no advance. And Mike, I think that's one of the travesties of the Jaguars coaching search right now that is such an apparent one in the spotlight for me, is that they botched the fact that they had weeks ahead of all these other teams to get the job done. What in the heck were they doing with all this extra time?
Yeah, for every step forward the Jaguars seem to take, they seem to take 2 steps back, and it seemed like they were getting ready to just wrap that deal up with Byron Leftwich, a week or so ago, and now here we are. They're in this tough situation, and it seems to be like you said, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what we can't hear. We don't know what we don't know, okay? We don't know the inner workings of all things, and it seems that there is some sort of hiccup somewhere, and I got to blame the ownership. I mean, Shad Khan seems to be progressive in his thinking. He seems to be a forward thinker. He seems to be a guy that gets it. He's investing in the Jaguars' future. He always puts the team ahead. He takes care of they built the brand new facility right next to the stadium there that helps them as well. It seems that while it's not top flight in the NFL, he's not afraid to spend money and he's not afraid to do things. The bad news is a lot of those things aren't the right things. And it just begs to question, maybe, and I don't know, I'm going to put it out there. I'm just going to put it out there. I would take a guy as general manager who, I don't know, knows numbers, knows players, can predict the player's performance. Maybe somebody that plays fantasy football really well. Maybe somebody that's in the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame. I would hire somebody like that as my GM because they're no nonsense. They're in the black and white. They're not looking at all the minutia outside. We're not creating a soap opera for men in the evening. This isn't professional wrestling. This is a business. It's football. And just like any business, if you don't do your job, you're going to get fired. Well, apparently that's not always the case. Apparently there's inner workings and things we don't know of, and you can self-sabotage your team without any repercussion, and you'll just put up with it. You'll just do what you have to do. It's ridiculous, and football is. We should be talking about the quality of the players here. We should be talking about the big game coming up. Instead, we have to address these issues. They're prominent. They're right in everybody's face when there's no games going on. It's just a shame for the NFL, and hopefully one day this will all get sorted out. And Shad Khan, I mean it. You and I have met before. You have my phone number, buddy. Give me a call.
And that's the thing, when I went to the game, I just walked, and Shad and I were just right there with each other. And it's funny because when I was a junior in high school, I wrote what I would do if I was general manager of the Jaguars, and I wrote that in 2001, and I still think I would do a better job to this day. So, it's just... how much worse can they get, I guess, is the conversation to be had. But, here we are this morning talking about, like you said, and we're talking about this. We're talking about the fact that a team that obviously has been inept has continued to be inept. And this doesn't bode well. This doesn't bode well for anybody that's involved. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. If I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm going, what is happening to me? Like, why am I here? Give me a head coach. Give me somebody who actually gives a you-know-what about this. Jacksonville doesn't make any sense. And again, you had your opportunity to get my boy Nate Hackett and bring him back. He was your OC. that Shad Khan let Doug Marrone fire, and then all of a sudden they bring him in, right? So that's like the remorse, in my opinion, is, oh, we let him go. We shouldn't have let him go. Okay, so you shouldn't have let him go. So what are you doing? Denver hired him. He was supposed to have another interview with you guys, but you didn't jump on it. Why is Jacksonville so incapable of acting? That's what I don't understand. What are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? It's like you're going to a buffet, you're seeing all the food, you're the first one to the buffet, and you're just watching everybody just bump into you and take the food. And by the time you're done, you know what's at the buffet? Anchovies and crumbs of the bread that was really good. That's what's left. You've been standing at the buffet while everybody else has been eating, and now you're looking at this going, well, I can have black licorice, sardines, or a crayon. That's what I have to eat now, because everything else is gone. Because I came up to the buffet, I got here early, I sat in my car, and I made sure that I was here before anybody else got here, and then I went up to the buffet and I looked at it. I didn't eat anything, I didn't touch anything, but I looked at it first. And that's got to mean something. Doesn't mean anything to your stomach. Doesn't mean anything to your fan base. Sardines and black licorice ain't going to cut it, honey. Not anymore. And I think calling Urban Meyer black licorice is a compliment. So I don't understand what the mentality is. By the time Jacksonville decides a coach, nobody's going to be left. Minnesota's laughing in your face. The Giants are laughing in your face. The Giants were one of the last teams to fire their coach, and they already got their guy. And they bring in a guy from Buffalo, a winning team, a team that's successful, a guy that probably is going to recruit some pretty awesome people to come be there and work with him on the coaching staff. I don't understand how Jacksonville can't seem to make one good decision over all this time. It's breaking my heart. I don't get it, Mike. So, do I think that you're capable of running the numbers? Yeah. Do I think that I know what it would be like to be a general manager because I've been talking about it since I was a junior in high school? Yeah. Do I think I could do better than what I've seen? Absolutely. Because what I would have done at this point is probably hired Nate Hackett. But beyond that, I would have actually done my due diligence. I would have done my homework. I wouldn't have waited for Byron Leftwich to become available. I would have been researching, talking to everybody that knows him, all his friends. I would have went to Tom Coughlin, tell me what he's like, about him as a player, this and that. I would have gone to I would have reached out to everybody. I would have went to his first grade teacher. Tell me about Byron Leftwich. Tell me about Kellen Moore. Tell me about Doug Peterson. Why did the team win a Super Bowl, and then why did he fall so fast after that? They had the same quarterback. What happened? I would be asking all these questions, getting all this research and all this data, so that by the time I finally met with these coaches to see if I actually like them as people, I know so much about them. Stuff that they don't even know that I know. I could even ask them questions to see if they'll lie to me because they don't know that I know what I know. Preparation is key. And now all Jacksonville is to me is Preparation H. That's who they are. I don't get it. But I know that if you want fans to sit in the seats, you need to make a decision that makes you look competent, alive, half a brain. At this point, I'll take a Tyrannosaurus's brain. But give me something that looks like football. That's all I want. This franchise should have been so far ahead of the ballgame when it came to head coaches that this guy should have been hired weeks ago. And I can't for the life of me figure out what they're waiting for, Mike. I don't know what they're waiting for. But the fans are so impatient, and Jacksonville is trending on Twitter and not in the good way. So
that's not good. They usually say, it doesn't matter what kind of publicity you get as long as they spell your name right. Well, this is not the case, Jacksonville. We're going too far to the wrong side here. We need to right the ship here. It's a shame.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and I'm appalled by it. It's gross. So the final note that I want to make is go over to Tampa Bay. So reports come out that, oh my God, Terry said, let's get you hired. I trust you would do so. I trust you would do a better job, do a much better job. And thank you. Appreciate that, Terry. I would do a better job. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I will. Hire me to be the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guarantee I do a better job. Your boy's been thinking about this since I was a kid. I think I know what I'm doing. So, and the thing is look at who they've let do it, Mike. Look at who's been, look at the Raiders. They hired a fantasy football analyst to be their GM. It's already happened, Mike. And Mike Mayock obviously didn't know what the hell he was doing. I would rather trust you, and I would trust me to do this. Listen, everybody deserves a chance. My father told me a long time ago, I said, Dad, I want to be president. He said, you can't. I said, why? He said, because you haven't run for any other office. You don't have a history of being a politician. You got to work your way up. You got to do local stuff and assembly stuff and then become like a senator and a governor or a mayor, and then you can run for president. And then somebody did that a few years ago, and I go, Dad, this guy was a celebrity TV star. He didn't have anything to do with politics, and he won. So my belief is anybody can do anything if they put their mind to it. I got my mind ready and right. Shad Khan, bro, be an owner. Keep building that beautiful Bay Area. I love what you're doing with Jacksonville. It's pretty. It's pretty, but it's lipstick on a pig right now. Let me run the numbers. Let me bring in Mike, and let's crunch this thing down. Mike and I will have our heyday with this, but I can't deal with the lack of understanding of, like, how do they not know football at this point? Like, Trent Baalke, what do you do? What is your job? Are you getting Twix bars out of the vending machine by kicking it the right way? Because I don't know what else you're doing. So, it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I guess my question before we go to Tampa, Mike, is there somebody that's available that you think is worth the hire? Because I don't know if Byron Leftwich is ready, and I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm just looking at this going, he's had Tom Brady for 2 seasons. So, like, how do I know how good he is at his job when he just had the GOAT and a ton of weapons? Like, I don't know if Byron's ready for this. Because it's that dicey area of, like, you could get him and be ahead of the ball game, and you struck gold, and everybody's like, oh, damn, we were going to wait 3 years, and Jacksonville got to him first. Or he could not be ready. Kellen Moore could not be ready, and you could be like, oh, crap, we jumped on this thing too early. So it's a 50-50 role for me. What do you want? Do you think Byron's the guy? Would you rather them talk to Doug Peterson or somebody else? I'm hearing that Doug is maybe going for a second interview. What are your thoughts?
I would lean toward, based on what I see, either Eric Bieniemy or Byron Leftwich. I knew Byron Leftwich was a gamer when I saw him playing for Marshall back in the day. I don't remember exactly which game it was, but the game had some consequence. And his offensive lineman, he would throw the ball 40 yards down the field, then his offensive lineman would go back and carry him to the line of scrimmage so that he could work the next play because he was playing on a busted twig. I guess his leg, his ankles, I forget all the little points there, but the point is resonates well with me because I remember Byron Leftwich not being a quitter. He's going to do whatever he's got to do to win. He's going to give it beyond his all. So I saw a guy that was working his way through coaching. I saw a guy that, you want a guy that was a player. Players want a guy that was a player. Last thing you want to do is listen to somebody who never played the game. Deep down inside, they'll say, oh, he's a coach, he's a good coach, he's been coached. If you hadn't played the game, you don't rank as high as other coaches in players' minds. That's just the way it is. You don't know what I'm going through because you've never been here. Byron Leftwich has been there. Byron Leftwich is a winner. And you can't argue with Eric Bieniemy either. These guys are 2 guys that are well worth a nod. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm sure it'll all sort itself out somehow, some way. But again, I would lean toward Eric Bieniemy or Byron Leftwich.
And the thing with Bieniemy that makes no sense whatsoever is normally when a coordinator is successful over and over and over and over and over again, he's literally gone and won a Super Bowl. He has been to multiple ones. He has been running this awesome show. I don't get it. I don't understand it. See, the thing is, Tom Brady was great before he got to Byron Leftwich. Pat Mahomes, we didn't know what he was going to be. He was a rookie. So, somebody could say, well, Dan, Bieniemy had Pat Mahomes and Byron Leftwich had Tom Brady. So they both had great guys. That's why they look good. Tom Brady was already good. Pat Mahomes, we didn't know what he was going to be. We didn't know. Some guys translate. Some guys are Ryan Leaf. Some guys are Jared Goff. I mean, it doesn't always work out. So, I mean, listen, if Byron Leftwich gets hired, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm a fan of Byron Leftwich. I like Byron Leftwich. I've been a Jacksonville fan since the beginning, 1995. You know, I've been with that team, rooting for that team, hoping for that team in the comfort of my own home. Now on the show, as you just heard me, I'm impartial. I'm not mincing words about Jacksonville this morning. So, and I never do. I'm fine if they hire Byron Leftwich. I'm just like, is he ready? I don't know. And does he have the connections to put the staff together? I don't know. Does that mean I think he's not capable? No. Does that mean that I think that he can't do it? No. I just don't know. I don't know if he's ready. I don't know. So I hope he is. But if they hire him and people go back and check the tape and go, Dan, you said Byron Leftwich wasn't ready. I don't know if he was ready. But let me go on record as saying I'm a huge Byron Leftwich fan. I'm a David Garrard fan. I'm a Blake Bortles fan. I'm a Trevor Lawrence fan. I'm a Mark Brunell fan. I'm a Gardner Minshew fan. I'm a Donovan Darius fan and an Aaron Beasley fan and a Fred Taylor fan. Natron Means, remember he played there? You remember? Like, I mean, Kyle Brady, Keenan McCardell, Jimmy Smith, Tony Baselli, Tony Brackens, Paul Posluszny, Miles Jack. I'm a fan of all these dudes. AJ Boye, Calais Campbell. I know them dudes. Josh Lambo, that's my dude. I was like, why is this guy missing extra points? Oh, because this mother you-know-whatter kicked him in the freaking leg. Like, I mean, for serious, though, I know my Jaguars. If Byron Leftwich becomes a head coach, I'll be the first person in that press conference running out there. I'm ready. I just hope he's ready. Because Jacksonville can't afford... Because what I don't want to happen is 2 years from now, Jacksonville fans crapping on their former quarterback and then his entire legacy being ruined because he doesn't win games and now everybody wants to throw him in the garbage. Like, I don't want that for Byron Leftwich. I don't want his time in Jacksonville to be tarnished. I mean, for goodness sakes, people were mad at Tom Coughlin when he came back. What did Tom Coughlin do wrong? Every time he was there, they went to the AFC Championship, including when he came back. So, you know, there was a lot of problems with Jacksonville at that time. Look at Jalen Ramsey now. Jalen Ramsey's screaming on the... There's one thing to be like, oh, man, I gave up an interception. But why are you screaming on the field like a little baby? Like, stop. You're a grown man. Stop. Nobody thinks it's cool, mature, or good to be out there taking your helmet off and screaming at the top of your lungs like, get over it, bro. Yeah, you missed the play. You'll get the next one. Oh, well, I know it sucks, but, like, handle your... This is the problem with Jalen Ramsey. He doesn't handle his emotions. That's the problem. He does not know how to handle his emotions. That's the issue. It's not that he's not talented. It's not that he's not good. It's not that he's not capable. He just doesn't know how to corral his energy into a positive place all the time. And yes, we all make mistakes. But Ramsey, he just looks like somebody you have to constantly talk off a ledge, and that's just ridiculous. He needs to be more of an adult, and he was a huge problem on the Jaguars team. Final note here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? They have Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians has his own issues. Seems like he's got anger issues himself. Bruce Arians had Tom Brady, doesn't have Tom Brady. Theismann came on my show this week, said that he didn't think Tom Brady was going to be done until he at least thought it over, and he thought that all the media reports were premature. Turns out they were premature, but now allegedly Tom Brady's retiring. I don't know if I believe it, but I guess I believe it. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on Tampa right now with the Tom Brady situation? He was there for 2 years. He won a Super Bowl. What's your take on the will they, won't they, and how the media decided like a week early to tell everybody Tom was done before Tom decided he was done?
Well, let me ask you a question. If you want to be successful in life and you want to be successful in something that, you know, you could use a few pointers in, who better than the GOAT? Who better than one of the greatest at whatever task that is of all time, helping tutelage you? And I think that is what Kyle Trask had, and I would not be surprised if the Bucs went forward with Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask has been surprising people all his life. Kyle Trask wasn't a starter on his high school team. Eric King was, who went on to be Miami's quarterback. And one day the Florida coach there was visiting Eric King, and the coach said, hey, maybe I'll take a look at this other guy, because if I didn't have Eric, this guy would be my starter. And sure enough, Florida made him an offer. He stuck around Florida until basically he was a senior, and, you know, he wasn't going to get that. Things happened. attrition. Players left. Dudes got hurt. He got his chance, and he shined because he prepared and he stayed prepared. This is a guy who probably went in with a great attitude. This is a guy who probably went in and was coached on by Tom Brady, saw the great work ethic that Tom Brady has. You don't survive in the NFL for 22 years without a good work ethic. I mean, especially at the quarterback position. This is an opportunity for the Bucs to have no wrong here. They took a chance on this guy in the draft. He had a chance to learn. He was underneath Leftwich, who's now going to be a head coach somewhere, probably not Jacksonville, but somewhere. He's learned from Tom Brady. What more could you ask for? Now picture this. The Bucs go out, and they have a great roster. They have some speed at receiver. They have some guys. They have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Tyler Johnson. They have guys that other teams would have in their starting lineup that can't crack the starting lineup here. So I know they're losing Gronk, but they got two other tight ends there. I think what they need to do is take a chance with Kyle Trask. And if you take a chance with Kyle Trask and you get egg on your face, you know what? You get a good draft pick the following year, and you still have youth on the team. You still have guys that can perform. I know you don't want to give up a year, but this is maybe something to look at. The next thing I would consider is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is available, apparently. And Jimmy Garoppolo, all he did was, win playoff games with the Niners. Yeah, he didn't look great. But let me ask you a question. If Trey Lance was the second coming, why hasn't he been starting? Why was Jimmy G starting ahead of him? So, it takes time in the NFL to grow and learn. Heck, even Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions his rookie year. That's a Hall of Famer. So it takes time in the NFL. It takes reps. I like the Kyle Trask angle, and I like the Jimmy Garoppolo angle. It'll be interesting to see what Tampa Bay does.
Yeah, I think Tampa should go with Kyle Trask. I want to see it. Why not? Why not? And I think, sadly, when you think about Jacksonville and Miami, Tampa losing TB12 and Rob Gronkowski, I think, is still the best team in the state of Florida. Because Miami and Jacksonville are just, the opposite of P shows. Y'all know what I mean. Let's roll with this together. Let's learn. So, but I can't for the life of me figure it out. I can't. And I don't think Miami fans can figure it out. I don't think Jacksonville fans can figure it out. But here's the thing with Tampa Bay. You got a lot of talent on that defense. You got talent at wide receiver. You had it way before. Tom Brady came to you because he believed you could win a Super Bowl. Remember that. Okay? He was the extra piece, but you had all the other pieces. Tom Brady doesn't play every position on the field. He doesn't play all 11 offensive, 11 defensive, and 11 special teams positions. He plays one position. Remember that. So Tampa, don't light your hair on fire this morning. It's going to be okay. You have had a lot. You just needed your quarterback. So now, maybe you look to Jimmy G. That is a good point, Mike. Because San Fran obviously doesn't know what the hell they have. And maybe you look to Kyle Trask. And I like that too. I appreciate that too. Because I think that they can win with that. Hell, bring Gardner Minshew in and let him be a backup. There's a lot in Tampa that can work out. And I think that we need to see this come to fruition. Mike, last note here. I know we're going to talk about it as we step forward, so I don't want to go crazy into it because I know we're going to discuss it. But Cincinnati and the LA Rams here, what are your thoughts on this Super Bowl? Most unlikely of Super Bowls, I think, for a lot of people. I know for me, I've told people I am so happy that I'm wrong. I've never been more happy to be wrong about a Super Bowl prediction in my life. So what's your take on the Bengals and the Rams?
Yeah, I thought it was, a continuation of where we had left off in the divisional round with the conference championships. You think the Bengals with the kid from Florida, again, with the overtime kick, 3-point game again, in that string of games there where they were decided on a last-minute play. And it almost was the same thing in the Rams game. They had last-minute play because the Rams scored 13 points in the fourth quarter to come from behind and win by 3. I really thought that was it. You know, I looked at both games. I just think the Bengals are playing on a level and in a place or in a zone where most people just will never be there. They'll never, if you've ever played sports and you've ever been in a zone, what that means is you can do no wrong. You can close your eyes and swing at the ball as a batter and you'll hit it. You can run backwards to first base and you're getting this zone. Athletes talk about this all the time. They get in a zone. And I really think that's where the Bengals are. I think for the Bengals. On the Rams side, I'm a little worried. Because they don't seem to close too many people out. Now, this past game was a little bit unusual because they had to come from behind, and they're usually ahead, and that, you know, usually diminishing that way. But this is a team that I think micromanaged to a point. You know, all year, Sean McVay challenged one instant replay play, okay? All year.
Yeah.
But they lost them both. I think he was the tension. I think Sean McVay is the guy who's not as loose as the players are. I think the players are loose. The players are ready to play. I don't think the players are going to be so awestruck in the Super Bowl. But is Sean McVay going to be able to keep himself in check? You know, the running game seemed to all but disappear in that game. But I know the Rams have some great receivers, too, so I'm not questioning that aspect. But when you look at, like, that one little thing, like the instant replay thing, it makes you wonder, is he gripping too tight? Does he really feel like he belongs there? He's a great coach. He's done wonders with this team. He's a great recruiter. He's starting his own coaching tree. Guys are going elsewhere and becoming coaches. But he hasn't had his big moment by himself yet, and that big moment is now. And I just hope he plays it loose, and I hope he has every bit of confidence in the run game as the pass game and defense. And the Rams look like they're going to win, and, well, they're the favorite. But, again, I'm not going to make my prediction yet because I think the Bengals are in the zone.
Yeah, you know, there's so much going on. There's so much good in the NFL and so much to be had. Fantasy studs all around. We'll talk about it as we keep rocking and rolling here. Mike Sofka, as always, I appreciate you, brother. And we ended up giving you all pretty much an hour anyways today as we extended Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of it. Hall of Fame FantasyFootball.com. I don't have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. And I also would like to let you all know that you should definitely check out our fantasy football group, Winning Fantasy Football. That's Winning Fantasy Football. Make sure you go there on Facebook. Mike, as always, such a pleasure. And no matter what happens in the NFL, I know I made the right pick because I drafted Mike Sofka #1 overall to be my fantasy partner. And I am very proud of what that's done for me. So thank you, sir, for all that you do. I appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you, Dan. I look forward to next time.
Take care. Sounds good. Coming from Mike Sofka, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside the Cafe Kubal studios. I want to take a look at what Greg said. Like Mr. Theismann said, quarterback, the most dependent position in the game, but also the most important. Such a rarity to find and develop. A top-tier, consistent quarterback in the NFL. Mind-blowing how rare it is to be considered an elite player at the quarterback position. Yeah, and I agree with him, as we discussed, Joe Theismann and I, Super Bowl champion quarterback, him and I said Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. And he put Joe Burrow up there. And then Matt Stafford, he didn't put him in there. So, you know, kind of interesting. Definitely interesting to have this conversation. So, I want to thank y'all for being a part of the show. Appreciate y'all. So, I'm so live right now. Like, I have so much energy right now. I want to, like, do a show all day long. I got crazy stuff coming up. Like, you have no idea what is coming to you. There are so many things I've been working on in the background that are going to be coming your way. It's National Signing Day. It's National Girls and Women in Sports Day. It's Black History Month. It's Brian and Stratton joining Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media officially. And you got to go watch those videos and read that article and hear from every single one of the coaches on staff at Brian and Stratton for what they had to say. And am so grateful and so thankful for that. I'm so speechless right now. Like, I am. I'm so, I don't even have words to say how much I appreciate what they said about me. So, God bless that. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You are watching and listening on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, the YouTubes.com/WakeUpCallDT, MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com. After that, it goes to the archives like my interview with Joe Theismann, Stitcher, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, TuneIn, and more. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any one of these platforms, and you will get the show for free in your pockets wherever you goes in. So make sure you check it out. I just go into random characters that I create in my brain, so it's all good. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, one word, Wake Up Call DT, on these many outlets, and get the show. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Progressive Dental, Pizza Man, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Millhouse Market, LeMoyne Dolphins, PB&J's Lunchbox, Honda City of Liverpool, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. Thank you so much for all you do. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud multimedia marketing partner. Now I can officially say we are the proud multimedia marketing partner of your LeMoyne College Dolphins, your Marywood Pacers, and your Bryant and Stratton Bobcats. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, making history on top of history on top of history. Y'all, if you want to work for me, I got some positions opening up. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Thank you to my guests, Bob Beretta, Mary Grimes, Haedyn Roberts for celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day and so much more. Kion Wright for celebrating his recruiting trail. Mike Sofka for celebrating the NFL and everything that is fantasy football. Proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, the best place to go to watch all the games, 3680 Milton Avenue, Camillus, New York. I love you all. I am more than happy to be a godfather. And Noah is my best friend forever. I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for my gift. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless. Happy National Signing Day Part 2. Happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Happy Black History Month. Happy awesome interviews. Happy that Joe Theismann came on the show and rocked it this week. Happy for the Washington Commanders. I love the name. I might actually be buying some of that gear because I think the name is cool and I'm all about that. So thank you so very much. God bless you all. Command your own life. Be yourself. Be true to who you are. Love life. Give it all you got. And be the best that you can be. Big shout out to my man, Daniel Booby Santiago. I'll be with him tonight as he has invited me to his signing day ceremony dinner. Cannot wait to see my guy, Daniel Booby Santiago, as he has committed and will be signing with Holy Cross. So much coming up on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I love you. I appreciate you. God above all. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Big man upstairs. Loving y'all here. Please be good. Please be safe. Please appreciate your life. Please be good to each other. I'll talk